The Huntsman Winter's War is actually a sequel to Snow White and the Huntsman. I thought it was a full-on prequel, but only like the first 20 minutes are a prequel showing the background of the Huntsman, but the actual main story of this film is set after Snow White and the Huntsman. And the plot of the film is that the magic mirror that Charlize Theron worships in the first film, that's gone missing, so the Huntsman has to hunt it down and bring it to a safe location before the evil Ice Queen Frey can get her hands on it and do really evil stuff. I'm going to start out with the biggest positive I have with this film, Jessica Chastain and Emily Blunt. It was really great seeing those two in these films because they played characters that I'm not used to seeing those two actresses play. Like every time I see Jessica Chastain in a film, she always plays like a really normal character, but in this film she plays a really badass warrior who's just kicking people's asses left, right and centre. And every time I see Emily Blunt in a film, she's always like the cool badass supporting character, like in Edge of Tomorrow and Looper. She kicks ass, she doesn't take crap from anybody, and she's like a really likeable character as well. But in The Huntsman, she's a really evil bitch. So I actually liked seeing those two actresses play different kind of roles, but the film just didn't use them enough. Jessica Chastain did not kick enough ass, and Emily Blunt didn't do enough villain stuff like freezing people and whatever. And to round out the redeeming qualities of this film of sorts, the CGI was decent and the action sequences were okay, but nothing very special, but still make the film watchable. But now let's get into the negative side. The story in this film is very unremarkable. There's nothing there that really hooks you. There's nothing that happens in this film where you're like, oh yeah, the Huntsman, let's go on this adventure, this journey, get the magic mirror to this location. You don't get hooked, you don't get sucked into the story. You can't really sink your teeth into it because there's nothing to sink your teeth into. And I know this film doesn't require like a multiple layered deep story. It could just be a fun turn your brain off action fantasy film, but the rest of the stuff I have to say about The Huntsman just prevented me from enjoying it in that way. For one, there's so many overdone elements and plot lines in this film. Like Jessica Chastain comes back into the Huntsman's life after like 7 years. The Huntsman thought she was dead. Jessica Chastain thinks that the Huntsman abandoned her, so now she doesn't love him as she did back then, but the Huntsman still likes her, and they have that little bit of a banter going on throughout the entire film, but you know exactly how that's going to end. It tries to do that thing where it makes you think that the main character has died, in this case the Huntsman. He starts fighting all these goblins and then something like a big explosion happens and everyone's like, oh my god, I can't believe he's gone, and they're just all sad, and you're just like, I know he's not dead. The film's called The Huntsman. He's not going to die halfway through the film, and then all of a sudden, oh, he reaches out of the crevice, he's actually alive, and he's all smirky like, there you go. The tone of this film is kind of all over the place as well. Some moments are like really dark and serious and sinister, and other moments are really lighthearted and comedic, and the lighthearted and comedic parts of this film have pretty much everything to do with the dwarves. Nick Frost is the only returning dwarf from Snow White and the Huntsman. Yeah, Ray Winstone, Ian McShane, they're not back in this film, but Nick Frost is for some reason. And we have Rob Brydon this time around because we all wanted to see Rob Brydon in this film. And they're there with these two female dwarves, and they have all these one-liners and quips and this banter back and forth between each other, and I'm just like, why is this happening right now? And Nick Frost has a romance with one of the female dwarves, and I acknowledge it's not a big part of the film. It's like 2 or 3 scenes in the film where they're sat next to each other and they're doing all this romance stuff, like trying to smell flowers or whatever. It is extremely cringeworthy, and I was just like, please get back to Jessica Chastain and Chris Hemsworth kicking ass, please. And the pacing of the film's kind of all over the place as well. Starts out interesting. The first 20 minutes of this film I actually kind of liked. You know, the origin of the Huntsman and the origin of Freya, the Ice Queen, how she became the Ice Queen. Very cliche stuff, all to do with love and broken hearts and things you've seen in fairy tales 100 times before, but it was probably the best part of the film was that first 20 minutes. And from then on, the pacing's just kind of like in the middle. It never really gets exciting, and it never really gets like super boring, but it's just in the middle, and the film's just like trucking along. You're like, come on, something happen please, and nothing really of interest ever really does happen. In the end, guys, The Huntsman Winter's War was not a terrible film, just not a very good one. I wanted to like it. I wanted to walk out this film thinking, yeah, that was actually a pretty decent movie, go watch it, it's a really good fantasy film, but after thinking about it overnight and sleeping on it, it's just not. I'm gonna give The Huntsman Winter's War 2 stars. So guys, thanks for watching the video. Tell me in the comments below what you thought of The Huntsman Winter's War when you do get a chance to see it. And if you like this stuff, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.